Introduction about Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB). TNB is the largest electricity utility company in Malaysia and plays a critical role in generating, transmitting and distributing electricity nationwide. Its construction projects include large-scale power plants, transmission towers, substations and underground cable systems, all of which involve in a wide range of high-risk activities that must comply with national safety standards. TNB was established in 1949 and is now a public listed company. It supplies electricity to more than 9 million customers. Tenaga Nasional Berhad or TNB is mainly involved in three types of construction within the industry: civil engineering, mechanical and electrical works, and general building construction. Let's take a look at each category. First, civil engineering construction is the most relevant for TNB. This includes the development of vital infrastructure such as transmission towers, substations and underground cables. These components form the backbone of our national electricity grid and are crucial in ensuring a stable and efficient power supply across Malaysia. Next, we have mechanical and electrical or M&E works. These involve the installation and maintenance of high voltage systems that are essential to TNB's daily operations. Examples include transformers, power lines, switchgears, and also grounding and lightning protection system. These installations help protect equipment, ensure safety, and maintain the reliability of the electricity network. Lastly, although not as prominent, general building construction is also part of TNB's projects. This applies when controlled buildings, office spaces, or storage facilities are built at power plant or substation sites. These buildings support the main operations by providing space for monitoring systems, staff, and essential equipment. In summary, all three types of construction, civil, M&E, and general building play an important role in supporting TNB's mission to deliver reliable and sustainable energy to the nation.
Now, let's take a look at the key OSHA regulations that apply specifically to TNB construction sites under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. First, we have Section 15, General Duties of Employers. This section requires TNB to ensure, as far as is practicable, the safety, health and welfare of all workers involved. That means it's TNB's responsibility to provide a safe working environment, including necessary training, supervision, and also protective measures. Next is Section 17, Duty not to endanger others. TNB must take steps to prevent any action that could endanger other parties like contractors, subcontractors, or even the public. This is especially critical for projects near transmission lines or towers where the risks are much more higher. Lastly, we have Section 24, Duties of Employees. Employees have a role too. They must use personal protective equipment or PPE properly and follow all safety instructions. Compliance from workers is just as important to maintain a safe construction environment. Together, these regulations form a legal and practical foundation for safety on TNB construction sites.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arifin and I will be presenting about how to identify the hazards at the TNB power plant work site. Number one is the structural failure from under-designed or overloaded temporary bridges structures, such as this can be found through temporary cable bridges may collapse if not properly engineered or reinforced. This can cause serious injury, equipment damage, and project delays. Poor load calculation or missing mid-span supports are also common causes. Next is work at high risk during cable pulling. Workers faces fall risk while installing cables on elevated platforms or structures, such as very high structures like skyscrapers. Without proper harnesses, railings, or supervision, even the minor slips can cause serious injuries or death. Next is dropping objects from height. Tools or material can fall during overhead work, posing dangers to all the workers and the public below. This often happens due to insecure tools, lack of barrier, and poor management.
HIRAC stands for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control. It's a safety process used to identify workplace hazards, assess how dangerous they are, and decide how to control or eliminate them. This method is required under the OSH Act and help reduce accidents at sites like TNB. It involves three main steps, such as identifying hazard, risk assessing risk level, and applying control measure from elimination to PPE. Here's an example of HIRAC form from TNB construction site. You can see how each activity is evaluated, like cable bridge installation, ladder work, or electrical testing. Risks are rated from low to high based on likelihood and severity, and control measures are listed. These controls include proper PPE, engineering modification, and administrative actions like permit to work. According to the Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH) and DOSM, Malaysia recorded 38,950 occupational injuries in 2023, a 13.8% increase from 2022. More concerning, 88 deaths occurred in the construction sector, the highest among all industries. This statistic clearly shows that sites like TNBs are among the most dangerous, especially when working at height or near live electrical equipment. This makes the implementation of HIRAC and strict safety controls absolutely necessary.
Moving on to the case study, news that is involved, which is the TNB cable bridge collapse at Bayi Lepas incident at 2024. In September 2024, a temporary cable bridge used by TNB to install 275 kilovolt underground cables in Bayi Lepas, Penang, partially collapsed under the cable's weight. Although no injuries occurred, the structure failed due to lack of midspan support and underestimated load capacity. TNB responded by removing the cables, adding central piling, and conducting a full structural review before resuming work. This incident highlighted the importance of proper temporary structure design, load assessment, and safety inspection in civil construction projects.
I will briefly explain the construction, design, and management process at TNB sites, which is crucial to ensure safety, efficiency, and compliance throughout the project lifecycle. Let's begin with the first stage, which is planning and design. Here, CDM or construction design and management involves calculating load capacity margins, conducting structural analysis, and identifying the location for piling. These are essential to ensure the structure is safe and sustainable before any work begins. Next is the pre-construction stage. At this phase, we focus on safety planning by developing the detailed hierarchy, which stands for hazard identification and risk assessment and risk control, along with permit to work (PTW) systems. A method statement is also prepared, focusing mainly on load management to prevent structural failures during construction. During the construction stage, several key practices are implemented, which are daily safety briefing and are conducted to keep all workers informed and alert. There's also real-time structural monitoring, and the presence of qualified engineer supervision is mandatory to immediately address any safety or design concern on site. Finally, we move to the post-construction phase. Here, a final structural integrity check is performed to ensure the complete work meets all safety and engineering standards. Once verified, the project is formally documented and signed off by a qualified engineer.
At every TNB construction site, emergency readiness is built into daily operation. This includes fire evacuation plans, emergency alarms, first aid station, and trained personnel to respond to electrical or mechanical incidents. All emergency procedures are clearly posted on site and rehearsed regularly.
Importance of OSH in TNB construction. In the construction industry, occupational safety and health, or OSH, is extremely important. At TNB, OSH practices are enforced to protect workers from accidents and injuries, especially since many sites involve electrical hazards. It also helps ensure that projects comply with Malaysian laws like OSHA 1994 and the FMA 1967. With proper OSH, TNB can reduce risks, avoid delays, and protect both workers and the public.
In conclusion, construction work at TNB site carries serious risk, especially when it involves high, heavy structure and electrical system. Through proper hazard identification, risk assessment and control measures like high-ride, many of these dangers can be reduced or prevented. By following OSHA regulations, using safety tools to permit to work, and learning from real incidents such as the cable bridge collapse, we can improve safety at every stage. Ultimately, safety is not just the responsibility of the safety officer, it's the responsibility of everyone on site.
To improve safety for workers, especially those working at height on TNB construction sites, we have outlined both short-term and long-term recommendations. Starting with short-term actions, first, ensure that all workers wear complete PPE such as harnesses, helmets, and safety boots every time they are working at height. Second, conduct daily safety briefing before starting any work to remind workers of potential hazards. Next, use a permit to work or PTW system for any job related to working at height. Finally, make it routine to inspect ladders, scaffolds, and anchor points every day to prevent equipment failure. Now, moving on to long-term actions. Provide continuous training on how to work safely at height and how to respond to emergencies. Install permanent fall protection systems like guardrails and fixed anchor points for better and more reliable safety. Improve monitoring system through the use of smart PPE or safety sensors that can alert teams to potential issues. And lastly, always review and update the hire process whenever there are changes in work conditions to ensure risks are properly managed. By implementing these recommendations, we can significantly reduce the risk of accidents and create a safer working environment for everyone.